And first of all, one of the questions Daniel, Fred, I receive every so often is, how long will my upgrade take? Or how long will my customer's upgrade take? And we certainly could answer always 42 minutes, but we don't, because there's no clear algorithm to tell you how long your upgrade will take. During a database upgrade, we don't touch your data normally. There are very rare exceptions, like, for instance, a text index needs to be rebuilt. Then we need to touch that index. But this doesn't happen so often. And normally, data remains untouched. The main driver for the upgrade duration is the number of installed components. So when you look into CDB_registry or DBA_registry, the more components you find in there, the longer your upgrade will take. And not only because the component upgrades are mainly not parallelized. The main driver is that some of the components take pretty long, actually. So here is an example on this screenshot. You see an upgrade with, I would guess, 10 components, and it takes 52 minutes. If I go in and remove some of the components I don't use, like, for instance, multimedia here and the enterprise manager, the upgrade duration shrinks to 30 minutes. So this is your main handle to make an upgrade run faster. Another option is the size and the complexity of the dictionary, but there is not much you can do. You can't remove like 20,000 stored procedures. You can sometimes reduce a bit of amount. There are cases, and this is why we have some feature version combinations here as third bullet point on the slide. Let's say in 11.2, we had a case where the synopsis, the incremental statistics information in a dictionary, got first of all partitioned with one upgrade. And in the next upgrade to 11.204, the partitioning layout got changed. So if you had like 500 gigabytes of incremental stats in your dictionary, that took quite a while. And in this case, it was more wise to just truncate that information beforehand. So also another good example, Oracle eBusiness Suite. If you look into OBJ dollar and you count the objects in an EBS database or an SAP system, you find a lot of objects. And when we adjust, when we change something in the dictionary, when we have to mow now through dictionary tables, the more information is there, the longer certain actions may take. But main driver is really the components. CPU speed, disk speed, that can influence the upgrade, and also SGA and PGA. Daniel will show you some cool examples on that later on. But main driver, components. When you want to remove components, do this before the upgrade. This is a strong recommendation. It not only is easier in many cases, but also, of course, you save upgrade downtime. So remove components beforehand. Look it up on the upgrade blog. I tried to put everything together in pieces because it's spread out in the documentation. Some components are not even covered in the documentation in terms of removal and have Moz notes instead. So it's a mix where you find the information. The upgrade blog has everything for you if you want to remove components. Classical examples are, you go from 11.204 to 19C, you have a database control repository for Enterprise Manager. That does not exist anymore with 12.1. Remove it beforehand, saves you a few minutes of upgrade duration. Another typical example, Oracle Multimedia. It's still there as sort of component in 19C, but really not useful because the API has been removed. Remove it beforehand, saves you upgrade downtime, makes your life easier. And the side effect of having less components is also some security fixes on a quarterly patch basis are just targeting certain components. So if you don't have that components, and a typical example is Java VM, the OJVM, then you don't care about any security flaws if it's just not in your database. And in addition, you save also upgrade duration downtime. Don't take this as a recommendation to remove and rip out everything of your database, because if tomorrow a developer comes to you and says, hey, we need that, then you see yourself reinstalling it again. And some of the components require also a bit of downtime when you install or deinstall them. But please take this as I would say, a fact, less components, faster upgrades.